Hi, my name is Sania Sam, and I'm a program manager in Azure Stack HCI team at Microsoft. In this session, we'll cover how you can collect new logs, customize the Insight workbooks, and get notified proactively by creating alerts using logs. What are Azure Monitor alerts? Alerts help you detect and address issues before users notice them. Log Alerts uses log analytics query, a kusto query, to evaluate resource health and performance. You can set thresholds as per your requirements and get notifications for the same. HCI log alerts are customizable, which means you can choose what data to collect and can easily modify the queries to do the same. You can easily create alerts by using predefined templates for CPU, memory, volume, drive health, and much more. Log alerts are scalable, which means you can set up alerts for multiple clusters with only one query. With the alerts interface, it is very easy to integrate it with third-party tools like ServiceNow or PagerDuty. This is an architecture representation of log alerts creation. Here is an Azure Stack HCI cluster with 3 cluster nodes. Azure Monitor Windows Agent, also known as AMU, is installed on each cluster node, which collect logs from the machines. The logs or performance counters which are collected are specified in a data collection rule. AMU agent then sends these logs to a log analytics workspace. This workspace is like a database to store logs. HCI Insight uses kusto query language to query the log analytics workspace and create alert rules based on the query result. Alert rules specify the resource, in this case the Azure Stack HCI cluster, signal, which is the log query result, and threshold value, which is the maximum value at which you want to get notified. Once the alert rules are defined, you should be defining the action rule, which is like an email, SMS, or any other third-party tool like ServiceNow or PagerDuty. Now let's see this in practice. This is an HCI cluster that is already registered on the required OS version and has managed identity enabled. Under nodes, you can see all of the nodes are ARC enabled. I have enabled monitoring for the purpose of this demo. Suppose you want to collect additional logs, go to Monitor and edit the data collection rule that we associated with the cluster. Go to Data Sources. In this case, we are collecting logs related to failover clustering diagnostics event channel. Add the event channel and get destination as a workspace. Once the events start flowing, customize the workbook. First, Customize will edit the whole workbook, and then you can edit the visualization that you want to modify. Now let's edit the kusto query. For instance, if you want to create a chart if the cluster service is running or not, we will add the failover clustering event channel that we just added to the data collection rule. An event ID 2049 is logged when the cluster service is running, and no events are logged if service is not running or cluster is unhealthy. Now let's filter it down further using a cluster ARM ID or a node name. So in any given hour, if event 2049 exists, we will make a series with a variable cluster availability and set the value to 1 if event is logged, which means it is running, or else at 0 if no event is logged. Now we are giving a time range and generating the series for every hour. Once processing is done, we will project the time generated and the variable that we just created. Now let's make some visualization changes. Select the variable. We'll give the legend value as maximum and change the color to green. If the value is 1, it shows that the cluster is available. And if the value is 0, it shows that cluster service was not running at that particular time. Now let's give graph a name. Once the desired changes are made, let's save the workbook and give workbook a name. You'll be able to see that this new graph is a part of your already available template. This is how easy it is to collect new logs and customize workbook templates. We can also create alerts on predefined workbook templates. For instance, if you want to set up an alert when memory usage reaches a particular threshold, go to Insights Workbook and edit the query. Let's create a variable for memory usage. I will prepare the memory usage variable and convert it to an integer. It will allow me to use it as a measure in alerts. Once the variable is prepared, I will project a variable so that it appears in the result, and hence the measure dropdown. Now click on New Alert Rule. From the measure dropdown, select the memory usage variable. Give aggregation type as maximum. Split by is an optional field. It provides information based on the property that's given in the split by dimensions. So if you want to get notified by the server arm ID, select that. You can further specify the dimension name, such as node name. In the alert logic, you can select the threshold value and see the changes in the preview below. So the preview shows that the current values are approximately at 25, whereas the threshold value is at 80. Select an action group, which can be an email or an event hub link. You can also integrate the 3P alerting solutions like ServiceNow or PagerDuty. Now give the alert rule a name, description, and click Review plus Create. And finally create. Go to Monitor, Alerts, and you can see the alert rule that we just created. I've already created an alert and have been notified with an email. This is how the alert email looks like. The alert rule name, the resource type, the dimension name, and the threshold value. You can click on the alert from the email and disable the alert or perform the required remediation. This way you can create any type of custom alerts. In future, we will provide simple graphical user interface for setting up alerts which will not be dependent on writing kusto queries. There is plenty more to discover regarding creating log alerts. To learn more about what we covered today, as well as full breadth of alerts and tools available, visit the link mentioned in the slide. Thanks for watching.